monsters. They've been in our world and our imagination since the very beginning of time. When we look at creatures and beings from our ancestors' folklore and religion, we can see how their mind perceives both beauty and the horrific. But what happens when those monsters escape our minds and come into our world? There have been people all around the world that have said they have seen monsters and strange creatures that should not exist. And maybe some of these beings that have been sighted can shed some light on where our ancestors got their inspiration for when they were crafting the beings of their beliefs. On this episode of Stories of Lore Top 5s, we are going to be talking about the top 5 cryptids. My name is Justin Sisk, and this is Stories of Lore Top 5s. Now, before we get into the actual cryptids, let us first talk about what a cryptid is. A cryptid is an animal or being that has yet to be discovered or validated by science. Now, some of these creatures may never have the assistance of science to validate if they exist or not, but there are some animals that have just simply yet to be discovered. Some famous cases of cryptids include the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. But there are other animals like the platypus and the giant squid that were once considered cryptids but are now accepted as actual animal species. There is a study of these mysterious animals, and it is called cryptozoology. And thanks to the people in that field, they have actually discovered certain animals like the ones I mentioned before and validated them as actual species. But what about the ones that people see that can be described as monsters? If you have a small animal or live on a farm, this is one cryptid that you need to look out for. The Chupacabra is infamous in Latin American folklore. The description of this creature varies, but most of them are similar. They say that it's a smaller creature about the size of a small bear with dark eyes, dry or scaly skin, sharp teeth, and a row of spikes going down its back to the end of its tail. Chupacabra literally translates to goat sucker. They were given this name because these animals would hunt and kill animals like goats and other livestock who do not have the proper means of protecting themselves. When they kill their prey, it is said that they leave behind 2 or 3 puncture holes, and the victim is drained of all of its blood. This creature has been spotted all over Latin America, in countries such as Puerto Rico, Chile, and Mexico. It has even been sighted in the continent of North America in areas of southern Texas. Witnesses say that they have found some of their livestock killed, but not eaten. They find the small puncture holes, like I mentioned before, either on their neck or on the chest of their livestock, and their blood has been drained from their body. Other eyewitnesses say that they have actually seen the creature either during the act or right after, running away from its prey. But the people who are seeing this mysterious creature, their eyewitness testimony doesn't exactly fit the legendary description of the Chupacabra. In the 2000s, people started finding corpses of these odd-looking creatures. Some describe them as resembling a rodent, a dog, a kangaroo, and so on. Scientists would like to classify them as coyotes or other wild dogs that have been infected by mange, which would give them a sickly-looking appearance with attributes like loss of hair, dry skin, sunken eyes, and a skeletal feature. Now, some believe that the case was solved when they found these wild dogs infected with mange. And when you put the two side by side, yes, they do have striking similarities. However, if you look even closer, these two animals almost look like they are two separate animals. So, is the Chupacabra simply just a coyote or a wild dog with a severe case of mange? Or is it another species of canine just waiting to be discovered? There are some out there who believe that there are messengers that are sent to bring us cheery and good news. But there are messengers who are sent to bring news that is a lot more sinister. Between November 15th, 1966 and December 15th, 1967, in a small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia in the United States, one of the first sightings of the Mothman was when a couple of teenagers were messing around at an old TNT plant. This plant was used to house massive amounts of TNT during World War II. They claimed to see a humanoid-like being that stood between 7 to 8 feet tall with bright red eyes and large wings. They rushed to the car and sped away, going around 100 miles an hour, but that did not help their cause. But as they reached town, it disappeared into the night. After this report about the creature, other stories sprung up all over town, and a lot of them were around the old TNT plant, which later was said to be the creature's home. The sightings kept happening until December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge that connected Virginia to Ohio across the Ohio River collapsed, killing 46 people. Some claim that they witnessed the Mothman on the bridge the day before it collapsed, making some speculate if he was the cause of the Silver Bridge collapse, or if he was simply just warning people of their untimely doom. Some associate the Mothman with an old ancient story of a Native American chief by the name of Chief Cornstalk that was wrongfully executed in West Virginia. It was said that before he died, he put a curse on the land, and some think that the Mothman was this curse. And that may be the case, except the Mothman has been reported at other horrifying disasters. He was sighted right before the infamous Chernobyl disaster. He was seen right before the I-35 bridge collapse in Minnesota. And he was also spotted right before the horrific tsunami that plagued Japan in 2011. So, there are those who believe that he is just simply a messenger who is bringing us news before these horrible disasters happen, while others believe that he is a bringer of death and destruction and will destroy anything that he touches. He has been associated with angels, demons, aliens, and human hybrids. But with how elusive this creature is, we may never truly know what the Mothman is. Monsters are already scary enough. But what about when the monster has been touched by the hand of Satan? Jersey Devil, or the Leeds Devil, is a creature of myth that is said to stalk the dense forested area in the state of New Jersey in the United States known as the Pine Barrens. The general description of the Jersey Devil is a being that is anywhere from 5 feet to 7 feet tall. It has a scaly dragon-like body, a horse-like head, claws, walks upright with its hooves, giant bat-like wings, sometimes depicted with horns, and red glowing eyes. To most people you ask, a creature like this would be very hard to believe in. But millions of people in the state of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and other northern states in the United States have reported seeing a being that matches the description I just said. And the suspected origins of this mysterious creature are even more hard to believe than its appearance. It is said that in the year 1735, Deborah Leeds, or Mother Leeds, was giving birth to her 13th child. It is also said that before the child was born, she yelled out, "Let this child be a demon." And she may have got her wish. When her child was born, it first appeared like a normal baby until it started morphing into what we now know as the Jersey Devil. She threw it from her arms and it attacked and killed the midwife. And then it flew up the chimney and into the night. Many people have seen or have had experiences with this mysterious creature over the years. In 1740, it is said that a clergyman actually came out to the Pine Barrens and exorcised the forest of the creature for 100 years, which it then returned after its banishment. Commodore Stephen Decatur saw the creature when he was inspecting cannonballs and actually fired a cannonball at the creature, of course having no effect. Joseph Bonaparte, the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte, actually wrote about seeing the creature multiple times on his hunting trips in the Pine Barrens. And during the week of January 16th to the 23rd in the year 1909, which would later be called Phenomenal Week, millions of people saw this being flying above their heads in the states of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, and Maryland. The creature was seen by so many people this week that people started to enforce curfews and make sure that their children were not on the streets at night. The Philadelphia Zoo actually put out a $10,000 reward for anyone that could capture the infamous Jersey Devil and bring it to them. As I said before, a lot of people have seen this being and they are very adamant about what they saw. So, could the Jersey Devil just be simply an animal that everybody has been mistaking for this horrific creature of our imagination for all these years? Or is it possible that a devil lurks in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey? Some of these creatures that people see are just out of this world. Literally. During the month of April in 1977 in Dover, Massachusetts, is when the Dover demon was first spotted. It is described as being a small being with a large head and large red or orange eyes. It also seems to have a lack of a mouth or a nose. Its body is almost skeletal-like and has long tentacle-like fingers sprouting from its hands. 3 people in the year 1977 saw this creature on 3 separate occasions. One of them even swearing on a stack of Bibles that was the creature he saw. And if that wasn't enough, all 3 people, separate from one another, drew a picture of what they thought the creature looked like. And they were all eerily similar. Their description of the creature matches that of what we think of when we think of a gray alien. However, this particular monster doesn't have gray skin. To them, they said it almost had like an orange tint to it. It could walk on 2 legs. However, most of the time it was traveling around on 4. And there are no UFO sightings or lore associated with this creature. Some blame it on something as simple as a newborn baby moose that got lost, or another animal altogether, simply being misjudged. But if you talk to the 3 original people that saw this creature, I believe that they will tell you that you're wrong and they saw something that was completely out of this world. Some cryptids that people report seeing sound like something straight out of a movie. Loveland Lizard was sighted on a lonely stretch of country road in Loveland, Ohio in the United States. It was reported to be between 4 to 6 feet tall with scaly, leathery skin and looked like a mixture between a human and a lizard. It walked upright and seemed to have some sort of intelligence to it. Now, many people over the years, not just in Ohio but in other parts of the world, have reported seeing beings like this, coining the term reptilians. Now, depending on who you talk to, the Loveland Lizard either looks like a mixture of a human and a lizard or a human and a frog, which makes it that much more interesting. Most of the time when people see this mysterious being, they see it traveling across the road and retreating into the forest to its home, I would assume. Sightings started back in the year 1955, and people such as pedestrians, drivers, farmers, and even police have come forward and talked about their personal experiences with this mysterious creature. And if this creature actually does exist, it makes you wonder, what other kind of human-like creatures are wandering around in the world? Monsters truly have been an inspiration for nightmares, movies, books, and other forms of entertainment. But when you talk to the eyewitnesses that have seen these monsters I spoke about today, it is more than just a movie to them. It's real. And when we look at cases like the Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, and even the Dover Demon, are they actually animals that are just being simply misjudged by people? Or are they actual species of animals that have yet to be discovered by science, waiting to be validated? And when we look at other creatures like the Mothman and the Loveland Lizard or Frogman, it makes us wonder, are there other humanoid creatures like us out there? Because we have to keep in mind that not every person that comes forward with these stories are lying. These people are coming forward telling stories about these mysterious and horrific creatures that are out there that defy all logic and modern science. These people are taking a risk when they're telling these stories. They're taking a risk on their personal status of people questioning their very sanity. So whereas, yes, some of these stories are made up and are made to invoke fear and bring attention to somebody, but not every single person that has come forward and spoke about monsters like the Jersey Devil and the Mothman are lying or trying to get attention. They genuinely believe that there is something like that out there. The next time you go out for a walk in the woods or a drive down a lone country road, make sure to keep your eyes open, because you might see one of these infamous cryptids. Everybody, thank you so much for watching the video today. I love doing videos on cryptids and monsters because, I mean, who doesn't want monsters to exist? That would be like the coolest thing ever. So I decided to do cryptids that are a little bit more popular, that people would have heard of before, to start out a series of top 5 cryptids. Some of these cryptids I've actually done full episodes of, which you can check out in the comments below. I'll put the links to those being the Mothman and the Jersey Devil. Those are awesome episodes, so go down there and check those out. I will probably be doing videos on the other cryptids I've talked about today at some point in the future as well, so keep your eyes out for that. If you like what you saw today, then please go down there and hit that big red subscribe button and hit the like, hit the share, comment, tell all your friends and family about the videos that we're making here at Stories of Lore. My name is Justin Sisk, and I'll see you guys next time.